Hello students, so today we will be studying mechanism of polymerization. The mechanism of polymerization is based on type of processes. There are three types of polymerization processes. As we studied earlier, addition polymerization, condensation polymerization and ring opening polymerization. So in addition polymerization, there are three types of mechanisms: free radical mechanism, anionic mechanism and cationic mechanism. So as per the syllabus, free radical polymerization have to be studied. In free radical polymerization that we have studied earlier also in your last class, 11th class, chlorination of methane was following free radical mechanism. So in this, the most common in addition polymerization is the free radical mechanism, and this involves chain reaction. This chain reaction involves three steps. So free radical mechanism involves three steps: chain initiation, chain propagation and chain termination. In chain initiation, the chain reaction is initiated in the presence of the free radical, which is an initiator or catalyst, such as benzoyl peroxide, acetyl peroxide, terbutyl peroxide can be used to produce the free radical. So here you see this is acetyl peroxide. Between two oxygens there is a linkage. So this cleaves homolytically. One electron comes to each of the oxygen and acetyl free radical is formed. This acetyl free radical is unstable. This electron comes here. This electrons between CH3 and C comes here. Carbon dioxide is eliminated and methyl free radical is formed. This methyl free radical or the alkyl free radical attaches itself to the vinyl monomer and produces a new free radical. So you see here alkyl free radical attaches itself to the vinyl monomer. This bond between CH2 double bond CH5, this cleaves homolytically, one electron goes to each one of them and the reaction takes place between the free radical and the vinyl monomer, and another free radical is new free radical is generated. This new free radical again attacks further the next molecule of vinyl polymer and vinyl monomer, and the new free radical is generated again. So this way the free radicals goes on generating and the length of the chain goes on increasing and the polymer is formed. Chain termination. Chain termination means stopping of the chain. So chain propagation step can be stopped by the following methods. There are three methods. Either the supply of monomer is stopped, or impurities such as oxygen gets added, or the two free radicals they combine. So either of the three things can stop the chain from propagating. So here you see the free radical combines and the neutral molecule is produced. So this reaction free radical mechanism, in the reaction you can see till the free radicals are generated, the reaction goes on. But if the free radicals they combine with amongst themselves, then the chain propagation stops and the chain gets terminated. So these are some of the important questions. So students, we will be studying about some important polymers now. First one is rubber. So elastomers are popularly known as rubbers. What are elastomers? We all know the substances which on applying force get stretched and after removing force they regain their original shape. So they are called elastomers. For example, balloons, shoe soles, tires, surgeon's gloves, garden hose, etc. These are all made up of elastomeric material. Rubbers are of three types: natural rubber, vulcanized rubber, and synthetic rubber. So now natural rubber. Natural rubber is obtained from the latex, which is colloidal solution of rubber particle in water. Natural rubber is higher molecular mass polymer, and it is made up from isoprene, and it is cis 1,4 polyisoprene. The molecular mass varies from 1,30,000 to 3,40,000. That is, the number of monomer units varies from 2,000 to 5,000. So basically, the monomer of which the natural rubber is made up of isoprene. So monomers of natural rubber is isoprene. What is isoprene? Isoprene is 2-methyl-1,3-butadiene. So the reaction involved in formation of natural rubber by the process of addition polymerization is as follows. So here you see isoprene. What is isoprene? 2-methyl-1,3-butadiene. So this is butadiene, and in the second position the methyl group is attached. So it is 2-methyl-1,3-butadiene. So what is isoprene? 2-methyl-1,3-butadiene. So N molecules of 2-methyl-1,3-butadiene polymerizes and it forms a polyisoprene. So this is polyisoprene rubber. So here you see when N molecules combine, this linkage, this double bond breaks homolytically, and one electron goes to this carbon, one electron goes to the carbon which with methyl group is attached. This another double bond that is that is between third and fourth carbon. This also breaks homolytically. One carbon comes to this, one electron goes to this carbon, another electron goes to this carbon. These two electrons, they pair up and a double bond is created, and in this one electron of carbon, one valency is free here, one valency is free here. So this goes on forming a long chain of polyisoprene, that is rubber. So representation of natural rubber. So here you see natural rubber is made up of cis 2-methyl-1,3-butadiene. So this combines like this, and that's how a natural. This is one molecule of isoprene. This is second molecule of isoprene. This is third molecule of isoprene. So they bond here. CH2 bond is formed. So cis 1,4 polyisoprene is the natural rubber. So you see, this is a colloidal solution of latex. Is the colloidal solution of rubber in water. Is obtained from the tree. So polyisoprene molecule, as you saw just now, has cis configuration and it has got carbon, double bond carbon. It consists of various chains held together by the van der Waals forces, and it has got a coiled structure as you saw just now. It has got a property of elasticity because it can be stretched. Non-natural rubber. Natural rubber, let's study a summary. Based on source, it is natural rubber, natural polymer. Based on structure, it is a linear polymer. Based on mode of polymerization, it is an addition polymerization. Based on intermolecular forces, it is a elastomer. Based on type of monomer, it is a homopolymer. And based on biodegradability, it is biodegradable. So I hope you understand the meaning of all those. So it is derived from the natural source. So it is natural polymer. It is ordered in linear structure. Molecules, they form a linear structure, and therefore it is a linear polymer. Based on polymerization, it undergoes addition polymerization, and based on intermolecular forces, it is an elastomer. It has got elastic property, and based on type of monomer, it is a homopolymer because it is made up of one type of monomer, cis 1,4 isoprene, and based on biodegradability, it can be biodegradable. It can be degraded by the microorganism. So it is a biodegradable polymer. So these are the characteristics of the natural rubber. Now vulcanized rubber. What is vulcanized rubber? Now to increase the physical properties of natural rubber, a process of vulcanization is carried out. So in this, Charles Goodyear invented this process of vulcanization, and in this what happens, the process by which a network of crosslinks is introduced in the elastomer. So when the network of molecules is introduced, this gives the strength to the rubber. So you see here, natural rubber when mixed with 3 to 5% sulfur and heated to 100 to 150 degrees centigrade, the cross-linking of cis-1,4 polyprene chains happen due to the disulfide linkages created between the layers of the cis-1,4 polyisoprene, and this creates cross-linking, and this prevents the rubber from being torn when it is stretched. So the profound effect of alkalization is that the properties like tensile strength, stiffness, elasticity, toughness are increased. So here you see, this is polyisoprene chain. This is another polyisoprene chain. When sulfur is added between these chains, the sulfur gets added, disulfide linkages get added, and this gives strength to the rubber. So even on stretching, then the rubber doesn't break and it becomes more stiff, more tough. So students, by controlling the amount of sulfur used in vulcanization, the physical properties of rubber can be altered to suit the requirements. So here you see in this example, neoprene vulcanized with magnesium oxide, natural rubber vulcanized with sulfur, and Buna-S rubber also vulcanizes with sulfur. With sulfur, and neoprene is vulcanized with magnesium oxide. So when you add magnesium oxide between these two carbon layers, actually neoprene monomer is chloroprene. So here when you add MgO to it, you get vulcanized rubber. So O linkage is formed between the two chains. So this is called vulcanization. So chloroprene rubber or neoprene rubber gets vulcanized with magnesium oxide, while isoprene rubber and butadiene rubber gets vulcanized with sulfur. So to 3% sulfur is used for low sulfur rubber. It is used in rubber bands, and 3 to 10% is used for a little harder rubber, that is used in tires, and 20 to 30% sulfur is used for hard rubber, which is used to make the heavy vehicle tires. And 40 to 45% sulfur is used in making non-elastic hard materials such as ebonite. So vulcanized rubber, based on source, it is a semi-synthetic rubber. Based on structure, it is a cross-linked polymer. Based on mode of polymerization, it is addition polymerization that creates it. And based on intermolecular forces, it is elastomer, it gets elastic nature. And it is based on type of monomers, it is a heteropolymer. And based on biodegradability, it is a biodegradable. So you will see the formation just now, so you will come to know the heteropolymer aspect. So third kind of rubber is synthetic rubber. The rubber which is synthesized in the lab or in the industries is called synthetic rubber. For example, Buna-S, Buna-N, neoprene and butyl rubber. So Buna-S, Buna-S. So this rubber is made up of two monomers, butadiene and styrene, and the reaction of formation of the monomer happens in the presence of sodium. So that is why you call it as Buna-S. Bu stands for butadiene, S stands for styrene, and Na stands for sodium. So butadiene and styrene are combined in the presence of sodium. Copolymer of styrene is formed, and this copolymer polymerizes to give you the Buna-S rubber. So the copolymer is usually obtained by adding 75% of butadiene and 25% of styrene. So these two are subjected to addition polymerization in the presence of sodium. So here you see this is 1,3-butadiene, 1,3-butadiene, CH2 double bond CH, CH, CH double bond CH2, and styrene, N molecules of styrene, C6H5, CH double bond CH2. So these two combine in the presence of sodium, 75% of N3-butadiene and 25% of styrene combines to give you the monomer, that is SBr, styrene butadiene rubber. And see how the monomer is formed. This CH2 double bond, this bond breaks homolytically. One electron goes to this carbon, another electron goes to this carbon. And here in this carbon, this also double bond breaks homolytically. One carbon electron goes to this carbon, another electron goes to this carbon. And these two electrons pair up and form a double bond. Here in this double bond also breaks homolytically. One electron goes here and one electron goes here. And that is how they combine and a chain of copolymer is formed, which N molecules of this combines to form the Buna S rubber. So Buna S rubber is a superior to natural rubber with regard to mechanical strength and abrasion resistance. It is used to make the inner tubes for tires, motors, bubble gums, etc. Buna S rubber. Now what is Buna S rubber? The properties are, it is based on source, it is a synthetic rubber. Based on structure, it is a branched rubber. Based on mode of polymerization, it is a addition polymerization. Based on intermolecular forces, it is a elastomer. It can be stretched. And based on monomers, it is a heteropolymer. Based on biodegradability, it is a non-biodegradable. Now next is neoprene rubber. Neoprene or a polychloroprene is formed by the free radical addition polymerization of chloroprene. So the monomer here is chloroprene and the rubber is known as polychloroprene. So chloroprene polymerizes rapidly in presence of oxygen and it is a homopolymer synthetic rubber. Now let's see the reaction. This is chloroprene, CH2 double bond, CCl, CH double bond, CH2. So you saw isoprene. In isoprene you had CH3 attached to the second carbon, while here you see Cl is attached to the second carbon of 1,3-butadiene. Now the chloroprene N molecules polymerizes to give neoprene. So here again the double bond between first and second carbon homolytically breaks. One electron goes to each carbon. So a linkage is created here and here double bond is formed. Again this carbon also, third and fourth carbon, there's a double bond. One electron goes to each carbon and it breaks homolytically. One electron goes to each carbon and a double bond is created between second and third carbon, and here the linkages are free. So chloroprene polymerizes to give you a neoprene rubber. Now vulcanization of neoprene takes place in the presence of magnesium oxide and undergoes condensation polymerization. The reaction involves are represented below. So you see magnesium oxide. When you add magnesium oxide to the chloroprene rubber, between the two chains oxygen linkage is created. This oxygen linkage is created and neoprene rubber. So students, neoprene is particularly resistant to petroleum, vegetable oils, light as well as heat. Neoprene is used in making hose pipes, for transport of gasoline and making gaskets. It is used for manufacturing insulator cable, jackets. power transmission belts and conveyor. So students, what are the characteristics of neoprene? Let us see. Neoprene, based on source, it is a synthetic polymer. Based on structure, it is a linear polymer. Based on mode of polymerization, it is formed by addition polymerization. Based on intermolecular forces, it is elastomer. Based on type of monomer, it is a homopolymer. And based on biodegradability, it is a non-biodegradable. Thank you.